Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. Welcome to our show today. I am your host, Amir Fahid Ali Mawakil, and we're filming this show at the home of Masjid Ashura, the beautiful home, if I must say, of Masjid Ashura. Alhamdulillah, which means all praises be to Allah, God. We thank you for tuning in. And before we start, we'd like to give our oath of faith, which is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, which means we bear witness there's none worthy to be worshipped but God and God alone, and there's nothing like unto him. And Prophet Muhammad is his last prophet. Again, peace be upon you. We are filming this show again at Masjid Ashura. We're located at 3095 Jonesville Road in the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Masjid Ashura is the first masjid, mosque, house of worship for Muslims that has been built up from the ground by indigenous native African American Muslims here in the great city of Atlanta. It is also home of Salam Memorial Cemetery, Atlanta's first and only Islamic cemetery. Now, let's let our guests introduce themselves to you. We're going to start from my right, your left, with the Vice Emir Marvin Rashid.
Marvin Hassan Rashid, the Vice Emir of Masjid Ashura. Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace and blessing be with you.
Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace be unto you. I'm Ibrahim Abdul Rahman, the resident imam here at at Masjid Ashura and manager of Salam Memorial Cemetery.
Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace and blessing be upon you all. I'm Brother Dawood Saifullah, the Assistant Security Chief here at Masjid Ashura and one of two of the Amir's personal bodyguards.
Okay, brothers. Gaza, Rafah. The Israelis told all of the Palestinians to move south because they were going to bomb and obliterate the north, which they have done, killing tens of thousands of people, most being women and children, driving them all, 1 million or so, into Rafah, a city called Rafah, in the south part of Gaza. Now, Netanyahu is saying that he's going to invade Rafah. Biden and all the people in the world have told him they shouldn't do that. But our president gave a weak response, talking about before you do that, you need to form some type of evacuation. Where are they going? Brothers, where are they going? I don't know what's wrong with genocide joke, but this is a terrible situation. How genocide is being perpetrated right before our eyes, Vice.
I agree 100%, Brother Mill. And you know, I used to hear the term, and a lot of countries around the world used to refer to America as a paper tiger. And I understand that what that means is you got the strength, you got the powers of a tiger, but you won't use it. You won't use your teeth, you won't use your paws, you won't use your muscles to do what's right. And that's what Joe Biden has given me the image of. Now, you know, Trump, as low down and dirty and as he is, he gives you the impression of strength, you know. And as the leader has told me many times, and he's correct, this guy, he knows what that position, the power and the strength that position holds, you know. And Joe Biden, he got outplayed by Netanyahu. One talking head made a great point. He said that Netanyahu and one of his cabinet members said they don't necessarily look at what Biden say. They look at what he do. And what he does is supply them with big money and big weapons, okay? You know, he can say all he want to say about, well, you know, you need to have a ceasefire, you need to exchange hostages, and you need to do humanitarian things for the Gaza people. But he's steadily giving this aggressive monster called Netanyahu weapons, bombs to kill these people. So that's not right, and we're not going to be on the right side of history with this.
Brother Imam, genocide. This is what it is.
Absolutely.
And it seems like the Israeli government run our country.
Absolutely. The irony is that Genocide Joe tells him to stop, ceasefire, do all these things that the world is telling the Israeli and Netanyahu to do, but he goes around and gives them billions of dollars. So I don't know, you tell me to stop, but you're giving the money. So what, so there's a contradiction there, and I'm not part of the wrong history. I'm speaking out against it. So I don't have, I'm praying to Allah that he changes things. That's on Biden and that administration. That's on them. That's on this government that people support. They support this, but they don't support it. So it's on the wrong side of history. We're watching it before our eyes. We don't have to read it in no history books. 20 years now, people gonna say, well, how did that happen? Well, we had an administration who, for whatever reason, is scared to stop the money, to really stop this, what's going on. And, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, it's supporting white supremacy.
Brother Aoud, man, before you go, man, that what's happening is so shameful. I've heard the senator from Connecticut, I heard Bernie Sanders and them come out strongly and subsequently call their own country war criminals. War criminals. And Joe Biden got the nerve to try to condemn any other people. And what's happening in Gaza, not only America, the world is standing by, saying nothing and doing nothing. That's let you know that America got that kind of power to check everybody in the world.
Yes. And Brother Mill, before we move on, let me say this right quick, because you brought it out. Look at how Biden condemned Hamas. That's the same, and rightfully so. That's the same tone and spirit he should use to condemn what Netanyahu and them Zionists are doing.
In fact, more because you're killing women and children. Go ahead, Aoud.
Well, first I want to thank you, Amir, for continuously speaking out on this monstrosity, this injustice that's going on over there in Palestine. This is a true stance on justice and speaking out against this injustice, this genocide that Joe Biden is being a part of. Every time I look and hear Netanyahu speak about Hamas, it seems as if it's in every single region that supposed to have to be evacuated, because I've read something now that he's in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. He was in the north, now he's in the southern part, and he's in the universities. He's all over the place, and I'm not gonna let you fool me. I just know bottom line, you want every inch of Palestine. Plain and simple. This is a takeover. This is a form of colonialism or colonization. This is something that's been perpetrated by those from the Europe region for hundreds and hundreds of years. The people that are doing it right now are descendants of those people from that region. And so, like I said, I'm glad that our leader is brave enough to continuously talk about it and don't let at least the world know that this is still happening. It won't be watered down, and it shouldn't be watered down, because that's what it seems like as the Vice Amir described our president as the paper tiger is doing. Is watering it down, watering the situation down, and I don't like it at all, and I don't stand for it at all.
Holy cause, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's a holy cause. That term can be applied to non-Jewish too if the actions manifest what the Nazis did. These Israelis are acting like Nazis, having no concern for human life, babies, women. That's a Nazi mentality. And the world won't call them on it. The world is calling them on it, but the world seems to be powerless because of the backing of the United States of America.
That's right.
Our tax dollars are going to slaughter women and children in Gaza, now Rafah. The only hospital they had in Rafah, the Israelis invaded it. People died in the emergency room. And there's nothing being said about it in terms of in this country. Now, let me say this. You have some Jewish people who are doing a wonderful job in protesting what these Zionists are doing. They don't agree with it, they stand against it, and they are calling for a ceasefire. They're protesting, they're doing everything within their power. It's not a lot of them. In terms of, it ain't a lot of these people in America that control our Congress and our president. They control it with the dollar. AIPAC control it with the dollar. And it seems like they got so much power politically, and all their power that invested in helping the Zionists perpetrate this genocide.
That's right.
And anybody that speaks against it is seen to be shut out. It's seen to be blackballed.
White ball now. White ball.
Yeah. And the news media. Our news media ain't worth a plug nickel. I'm with Trump. Fake news. Because they don't take a righteous stand. I seem like they are controlled by an outside entity that they can't come out and say something. Now, for Black Lives Matter, they'd be all over, be saying everything.
That's right.
You know, everything. But it seems that when it comes to the Israelis, they're muzzle on their mouth, Vice.
Absolutely, Brother Mill. And they are fake news. They look into any situation, and and they try to keep controversy going. Controversy going. Controversy going. And I'm going to say this right here. Everybody understands clearly, as Brother Daoud said, what they're trying to do over there. Okay? They had this pre-planned. Okay? Where the next time these idiots do something stupid, we just going to go ahead and take over the whole thing. They don't want to colonize. They colonize means you want to take a people over and live amongst them.
They want a genocide.
They want a genocide.
They wipe them off the
Now,
map.
the plan was, and as the Emir opened up with his opening question about Rafah, well, they said go to Rafah. Okay, what they hoping is that the border states take them in, and knowing that if they do, if Egypt take them in, if Jordan take them in, if Qatar take them in, they understand clearly that they're not gonna let them back in. And before you know it, they're going to have Israelis coming from all over Europe putting up these little houses, settlements.
Can I ask you a question on Vice? So the intent of the purpose politically, right? Speaking in political terms, is to find Hamas, right? There's word based on Hamas. So they haven't found Hamas yet. They move everybody south of the Gaza Strip or whatever out of Gaza. And they still don't find Hamas. Are they still going to continue to search for Hamas, or it's going to stop there once they clear Israel?
Well, to me, they're moving everybody to Rafah to wipe them out. They done wiped them out in the north, and they got them cornered now. Egypt can't take them in. They're not going to take them in. And, they won't, as Marvin said, they want these countries to take them in. They won't get back. If they don't take them in, they're going to bomb it.
The Mill brought some out on the last show that I think everybody in the television audience need to understand, because they're trying to project this or portray this as a war. And the Mill brought out a point. How can a war has to be between two equals? It's not a war when Britain go to Africa and they got spears and Britain got rifles.
Slaughter, man.
That's a slaughter. So here they are with planes. Hamas don't have no planes. Here they are with tanks. Hamas don't have no tanks.
Drones, missiles, everything. Bombers in the sky.
Right. So, we're not going to stop this war until all of Hamas is wiped out. Well, what they saying is that we're going to wipe out the Palestinian people.
That's right.
We're going to take over this whole area here, and we're not going to be at peace until both sides of this border is all Jews.
With the help, Brother Imam, of the United States of America.
That's right. And the United States is funding them, and their plan is to wipe these people out, either Egypt or Jordan take them, and then go back to the American government and say we need billions of dollars to rebuild this Gaza Strip. That's their plan.
Yeah, it is.
And with the help of AIPAC having squeezing the United States government, they'll get that money. They will. This their plan. You know, they say people plan for the future 20 years. We went down to the city government, Brother Mir, and we get this land. What do they have on the dockets? New developments 5-10 years from now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We passed it, but we don't see them moving on it. But they planned it. These people planned, like you said, they planned, say, okay, next time we're gonna, if something happened, this is it. Okay, we had it in the 60s, we had it in the 70s, we had it in the 80s. They do it again. We're gonna give them a two-state solution, but we're gonna make it that everything benefits us. So when the world says, well, you didn't give them an opportunity for a two-state solution, Israel said, we did give it to them. Here, we gave it here in the 60s. We gave it in the 80s. We gave it in 2000. But it benefit the Israelis. So what they plan on to say, okay, we're going to get in this room. Okay, we're going to take out Gaza. And we're going to go, the next president, next Congress, we're going to get $5 billion. We're going to build that up because it's right on the water.
And show you something else they said. They planned. So well, what about Biden? Well, you think he's gonna let? Don't worry about genocide, Joe. He with us.
That's right.
He with us.
And let's make this plain. So is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
There's no difference in when it comes to this war. Now, I don't think that Donald Trump is with them on Ukraine. And Israelis, sometimes Trump don't want to be seen as a genocide Trump. But let's talk about that. We got a thing going with Fannie Hill. The day is the 16th. Yesterday they was in the courtroom, and they continue to go in the courtroom today. I was able to see some of it. Mr. Wade, he's no slouch, particularly defending himself. And Fannie know her stuff. But I'm saying, in order for them to move this case forward, it should have even got to the court. They should have recused themselves to take it off and put some more prosecutors and continue to prosecute Trump. They're sitting there trying to fight for themselves being there, and they can jeopardize
The whole case.
What you think about that, Daoud?
I agree with you 100%. But I did see what you saw. They're definitely standing firm and standing strong, and is willing to fight this tooth and nail from what I've seen, which isn't much. So I won't speak on it in too many details because I don't have that much information. But from what I have seen, it's specifically Fannie Williams, is that I mean, her defense is your word against my word. Everything's a lie. She pulled up documents, held up documents. This a lie, this a lie, this a lie. Everything's a lie. And it's
What I don't get, they must think people, she paid them back in cash.
right.
Man,
That's a lie.
come on, man.
That's a lie too.
Come on, man. You think we
that's
born
unbelievable,
that night or last night? All the things he did for you, you gave this man cash.
Yeah.
To me, I would think that you would want to have a paper trail in case this thing ever pop up
Yeah,
there.
correct. And you picked up, 'cause I was pretty well riding with it until it got to that, But Brother Mill, you said something in your lecture today that fits this circumstance perfectly. Not only this circumstance, but for most people of color. And you said basically the way I interpret it, when you're in leadership, you got to look at your situation. You got to understand where you are. You got to understand. For example, if you're a black man in America, and this is a union that's striving to get to its most perfect position, but it ain't there yet. You got to understand, we came from a slavery situation a long way, but still, Caucasians are the majority of people in this country. And you get so comfortable that you think you can do what the Caucasian do and get the same slack he get, you're really not being realistic. You got to put yourself in a position to understand that and they gave a perfect example of one of the guys on MSNBC. Bond sit down Man, they treated this guy with kid gloves. They were respectful to him. Out of all them lawyers in there, only one lawyer questioned him, and he was so complimentary. You know, look, man.
Who was that?
Former governor
Roy Bond. They called him?
Oh yeah, he testified. Man, he got up there. Well, how you doing, Governor Bonds? You know, I must say, it was a privilege. I worked with you on the case. I mean, just gave this man.
What did he have to testify to?
Well, what he testified to was that he was the first person that Fonnie Willis called on to be special prosecutor. And he said basically that he denied it for two reasons. One, the 250 wasn't enough. He said the 250 is a pauper's pay when it comes to that job. And two, he didn't want to put himself and his family in a position of safety again. He said he went before with bodyguards and all that, and he did not want to put himself in that position with these fanatic MAGA types. You know.
Wow.
Well, politics.
Yeah.
He's a fan of Democrat. He a Democrat. It's politics, man. I just think that Trump need to be tried because he did try to take the election, trying to claim that Georgia did something wrong with Georgia didn't, and I think that Fannie and Wade should not jeopardize the case in this matter. Okay, we had something else that was smoking out there. Oh yeah. Now, NATO. Trump had came out and said that if NATO don't pay, then we shouldn't defend them. I second that emotion. I second that emotion. Because the United States is so concerned about Europe, and NATO is a predominant majority Caucasian countries. In fact, there is no black or brown, to my knowledge, member of NATO. And NATO consists of French, Germany, Portugal, England. All these people used to war each other, including Russia. And we're spending all that money because we don't want one of these Caucasians, Russia, to invade these other Caucasians, Poland and all of them. So our theme was, according to Biden, is to protect the United States and our interests. But at the very same time, this country is going to be taken over by our fellow South Americans. They're going to take this country without firing a bullet, without spending a whole lot of money. This country, this Caucasian that's over here in these United States is really out of sync. He should be over where the rest of his boys are, in Germany, France, and all of this. But he's over here. And so there's no enemy because they're their worst enemy. All the World War I, World War II, all the French and England War, Napoleonic War, all that was fighting amongst themselves over there. Now, even Russia. The United States does not have any Caucasian country in this hemisphere that can threaten them. So why spend all the money over there when there's nobody that can threaten you because you're so far across the globe, and right here sits the people who's going to literally, in a short time,
Take the country over.
going to be a brown country. Brother Imam.
Well, Time magazine in 1980 had a big expose saying the browning of America.
Yes.
And, for whatever reason, I call it ignorance and arrogance amongst many of the Caucasian communities here in America, where they decided that they were not going to have any more children. That they wanted to have, because at that time, 4.5 children was the norm. They decided they weren't going to have no more children. So what does that do? For the next generation, every 25 years, if you don't produce no children, you don't produce any people to marry off your like kind. And so the browning of America, we knew that in the 70s and 80s, they were allowing Asian people come in for their medical knowledge. A lot of Pakistanis came in, a lot of Indo people came in, and so that was the first wave of browning that was legal. But we knew south of the border, Texas and California, they said, okay, come on in, work for our crops. Because people didn't want to work on the farm, Brother Amir, they got tired of black folks, so we ain't working on the farm, let the Mexicans and Hispanics have that job. Another generation, you have in the 90s, people having babies, majority, and I won't say all of them, but majority of the Hispanics in South America are Catholic. They don't believe in birth control like the Westerners do. So they dropping 4 and 5 babies.
At a time.
At a time. They're American citizens now.
Some of them ain't. They still dropping those babies.
Right. I'm talking about in this
The babies
the
are
babies.
Yeah.
So now you have 2024 where Biden says, hey man, y'all can come on in for whatever reason. They coming in. Hondurans, Ecuadorians, Venezuelans. And so they're coming in.
Brazil, Mexican.
All the
and,
people.
and I'm saying that this is a brown and red man part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we came in, people came in from Europe, and they stole the land from the red man, and they built the foundation of this country on the backs of a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are looking at the consequences of both. This is not the black man part of the world. Our world is in Africa. It's not the Arab part of the world. It's the beast. This is the Latino part of the world. It wasn't even Spain part of the world. Spain came over here and colonized all these other little minor countries. But now the chickens are coming home to roost.
Yes.
They are invading from the border, and they also are invading inside, as we just said. Every time I see a Hispanic, they're pregnant. They've got 2 or 3 walking behind them. They are going to eventually claim what's theirs. Our question is, what's going to be our role? What's going to be our role? So it is my advice that we keep good relationship for the future. But Obama did something good with the other kids he trying to get in, because it's going to happen. Nature going to take its course. No matter what they try to do, they're not going to be able to prevent the brown and red people from taking back what's theirs. Take us out, Vice.
You heard that. You may disagree, you may agree, but listen to this very carefully. If your life is in turmoil, if you wake up every day of the week confused in some form of slavery, alcohol, drugs, ignorance, and you can't break those chains, we recommend that you accept one master, and that's Almighty God.
Yes.
And He's a good master. And if you want to change your life, you must accept Islam and be saved.
And tune in next week at the same time in the same station here on DeKalb 25 in DeKalb County, and over the internet, www.DeKalb25, and tune in live as we broadcast this show. Until then, from Message to the Shore, we say, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you.